Yeah, it's nice. Sorry, I'm just going to hit the record button because I have forgotten to do that. I think Itmam is recording the session for himself, so I forgot about this. Okay, great. Yes, in fact, there is a message on chat. If you read it, there is a place where you can be also viewing the key moments of the webinar in terms of screenshots, which is nice. I was actually considering putting up a PDF with the resources that we're using, because that can also be a nice thing. Let me know if you would like it. I'm very happy to upload the PDFs as well. Okay, great. And
Okay.
Ivana, speaking of children, because Luisa mentioned her grandchildren, have you got children of your own?
No. Now.
No, no, no. I'm
No.
asking. I'm asking Ivana. Sorry,
Ah.
Ivana. Have you got children of your own?
No.
Lucky
Uh,
you.
Maybe she's tired to have to look after children because she is an educator in a kindergarten, so she doesn't.
It
It's
gives
so
you a
tired.
taste, yeah.
It's possible.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, very good. Let's have a look at some feedback from this conversation, okay? And then I'll
Yeah.
also ask you some questions about how the platform is going and everything else. Okay. Can you see my screen?
yes.
Yes.
Great, very good. Okay, so Ivana, let's start with you. Could you read this for me?
Work.
Very good, great.
Hamburg.
Yeah,
Ham
this is a very nice German pronunciation, obviously, okay? And it's difficult to say words like these with English pronunciation, but this, because there is U and R together followed by a consonant, this is going to be erg, Hamburg.
yeah, Hamburg. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. And
Poland.
yeah, yeah, very good, very good. Okay, let's stick to pronunciation. Luisa, could you say this one for me?
Palermo.
Yeah, try with the O at the end, Palermo.
Palermo.
Yeah, sounds strange, doesn't it?
Palermo. Okay.
Could you read this one too?
Temperature.
Yeah, try. Chair was very nice. Yeah, try to remember that in this case, we read this A as I. Temperature.
Temperature.
Very good, very
Mm.
good.
Sun.
With
Sun.
an A, sun,
Sun.
sun.
I remember. I
Hmm.
started last week
Yeah,
with the
definitely. It
sun.
takes time. Yeah, it will take time to develop these habits. But yeah, it's good that you recognize it. Great.
The period.
Try here to say yid. It's a very short ending. Yid, period.
Period.
Yeah, very good. And
Period. And Berlin
yes, the stress is
is
on
on the
Lin.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Berlin.
Yes.
Can you repeat this
But
again?
Berlin.
Berlin. Great. Okay, fine. So, Ivana, in terms of vocabulary, okay, this was the little phrase that I used. Yeah, quite a few things happening. I wanted to point out to you as well that if you say these sentences, you shouldn't say simply, right? Because simply is an adjective. Sorry, is an adverb. Yeah, what you need here is an adjective. Yeah, so it's not simple. Okay. Um, and the same here, it was not simple. Okay. If you said simply, you would have to use it together with an adjective. Yeah. So, for example, it's simply great, or it's simply too complicated. Okay. And what's wrong here? This is a question to both of you.
to read?
Sorry, say that again, Lisa?
Do you ask us to read the sentence?
No. I'm asking about the mistake.
For I was living in Germany for 10 years.
Okay, this is an interesting sentence. Okay, I'm just going to write it down. Okay, I was living in Germany for 10 years. Okay, so first, yeah.
No, there is a mistake.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, in the context of our conversation, yes, there is a mistake. Okay, but we're going to
Yes,
explore
yes,
it a
yes.
little bit. Okay, let's use it as a
Yeah.
learning opportunity. So,
I
yeah,
have been living in Germany.
very good, very good. Okay, so the first correction, yeah, because we are talking about a period of time, we're going to use for. Okay?
Mhm.
Since we would use if we were talking about a moment in time. So, for example, you would say since 2013 or since 2014. Okay? So, since is for the moment in time and for is for a period of time. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, because we are talking about a situation where the action is not finished because you're living in Hamburg, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So if you're living in Hamburg, we are going to, we are basically talking about a period of time that's not finished. If we were to represent this on a timeline, and this little point here would be now, okay, this would be future, of course, and this would be the past. Okay, we would be talking about this period of 10 years that started here and is still true now. Okay, so in other words, that would be past, finished. Sorry, not past. This is present. Yeah, past and present. Past plus present. Okay, and it's unfinished because you are still there. Okay. Whenever we have a situation like that, we basically need to use present perfect. Yeah, and you can say Luisa said before, I have been living or I have lived. There is no difference, practically no difference. Okay, so you could either use a present perfect simple or present perfect continuous. No difference here. Okay, so in here, we're just going to correct this and say since yeah, let's just correct this. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that and say for 10 years I've been living or I've lived. Yeah, there is no problem if you say I've lived. Yeah, it's also fine. All right.
Sorry,
Okay.
I could say I was living in Germany for 10 years when I decided to move to Italy or not.
Yes, there would be still a different, a slightly
Situation.
different grammar, but I'll explain. I'll explain, okay? Because that's very nice. So first, let's deal with this sentence. Okay, so in here, this sentence works grammatically, but the context is different. Okay, because the context is basically that when we look at this again from the same perspective of a timeline, okay, we are now talking about a period of time that's finished. Okay, so that was here. Okay, the 10 years. Now you live somewhere else. Okay, so in other words, this is now past, finished, and time specific. Okay, and also apart from that, we're talking about a longer action. Okay, so that basically means that we need to use past continuous. Okay. So far, so good. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. So now that sentence that you made, Luisa, okay, I'm just going to put here, okay, because we're going to have another little timeline here, okay? You said I was living for 10 years or in Germany for 10 years when I decided to move to Italy. Yeah? Good. In theory, this sentence, there's absolutely no problem with it, okay? If you want it to be perfect grammatically, you would say, I had been living in Germany when I decided, okay? So this would be a situation where the timeline is basically the same, okay? So we are talking about the same situation where this is past and finished, okay? But now you are using the word when. And when you use the word when here, you have a point of reference, okay? And because of that, this is going to be past perfect, okay? So we're going to say, I had been living in Germany for 10 years when I decided to move somewhere. Okay? This is cosmetics. Yeah, I want to emphasize that, you know, there is absolutely no problem if you say I was living. Yeah? But to be perfect, we would say I had been living. This is a situation which happens typically when we are using when something happened, and this is a point of reference, and we are moving back in the past. Okay, so typically, for example, we could also have sentences like, for instance, I don't know, I had been working for 2 hours when, yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, when my colleague came to the office. Okay. I had been cooking for almost an hour when you came home. Okay, and in fact, I shouldn't be putting those commas here because they are not necessary. Okay, so it's basically this situation that we are saying what had been happening when something else happened. Okay, actually a classic example, because this is of course past perfect continuous. Yeah, and past perfect is a tense that we use really rarely in English. But a classic example that you can find in a lot of course books when you look at past tenses is when we arrived at the train station, the train had already left. Yeah. Again, we have this when here. Okay, so this is our point of reference in the past. Yeah. So this point of reference is very important, or well, very important. It's important grammatically. Okay. So this is our when. Okay. And we are from this when, we are looking back into the past. Okay. So we're not moving forward from when. Yeah, because if we were moving forward, it would all be past simple. When I got up this morning, I put on my slippers. Then I went to the bathroom. Then I washed my teeth, and so on and so forth. One action after the other, past simples. But here we are going back in time. Okay, and that's why we are using past perfect. Okay, great, very good. Is that clear?
Yes, this is clear. So I will trust you. When I can use I was living, or is in incorrect to say I was living.
No, 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 it's absolutely fine. This is a correct sentence. Yeah,
Oh,
but look that this is a
ah,
sentence without any other
ah.
reference
Okay,
in the
okay,
past. Yeah?
okay, okay,
So what I was trying to say was that this when changed
okay,
everything.
okay,
Yeah?
okay,
So there is absolutely no problem. This is a correct sentence. It's a very good sentence. Yeah?
okay. Now
Good.
it's clear. It's
Excellent.
clear.
Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to delete those annotations and we can just, um, yeah. Do you remember, Lisa, how to correct this? I'm just going
Little,
to,
not a
yeah,
few, but
exactly.
little.
I'm just going to put climate change here, okay, because that was the context of this, okay. And yes, we would need to say you can do little about climate change. By the way, um, do you know, this is a question to both of you, what would the difference be between these two sentences?
Uh, Maybe in the second sentence, a little is something, and the first is little. No?
Yes, so in other words, I think what you're trying to say is that one of these sentences has a more positive meaning than the
Uh,
other, right?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. If you say little, that's negative. Okay, so if you say I can do little, this is negative. Okay, if I say I can do a little, that's positive.
Oh,
Okay, this is the same in the context of few and a
thank
few.
you.
Okay, so the difference between few and little, yeah, do you know the difference?
A few, a little.
Hmm.
Uh, Few is mm, not many.
Sure, but little is also not much, right?
Yes.
Basically, little is for uncountable things. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So time, money, I don't know, substances. Yeah. Few is for countable things, but the grammar is the same. Yeah. So if I said, for example, few people came to the meeting, yeah, it means that I'm disappointed. Yeah. I
Ah,
was
oh,
expecting more.
ah, ah, ah.
Okay. On the other hand, if I said a few people came to the meeting, I'm actually quite happy with how many people came. Okay.
Yes, yes. Perfect.
Great. Very good. Okay. Please ask questions, yeah, if you are not sure about something. Yeah, I took you on a little grammar tour today. Okay, so please feel free. And these are the kind of things, by the way, that you can feel free to ask me, yeah, on the forum. If you have doubts
Okay.
like these, I'm very happy to go into them. Okay, we've got one last sentence to go over. Okay, what's the problem here? This is a question to both of you.
Sorry, one thing. Uh,
Mhm.
you said that when I can use little with uncountable name,
Mhm.
and for few it's not the same, or it's the same.
So just to clarify then, okay, little is for uncountable nouns.
Yeah, now it's the same. Now
Okay,
it's the
so for
yes,
example, we would say money, water, air. Okay.
yes.
Whereas few is for countable
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe my example was a little confusing for you because, of course, people in Italian is an uncountable noun. Okay. And in English, it's countable. okay? But it basically is the same as cars, I don't know, boxes, okay, etc.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's clear. Yeah, thank
Great.
you. Thank
Very,
you a
very
lot.
good. Okay, fantastic. Great. What about this sentence then? Does anybody know what's wrong?
I very heavy, right?
That would be a very good correction. Okay. We could definitely say very heavy rain. Okay. Why not very huge?
Maybe huge is for uh, dimension of a thing. I don't know.
Any other ideas,
Or
Ivana?
maybe huge is an adjective that is already a strong adjective.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So we would basically get rid of this. Yeah. We would say there was a huge rain. Okay. You could also say absolutely huge. Okay. But normally, um, we wouldn't use huge. I mean, normally we can't use huge with very because it's an extreme
Yeah,
adjective. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Good, good, good. Good, good, good. On the other hand, heavy is not an extreme adjective,
yeah.
so we can use it with very. Okay, great. Very good. Well done. Does anybody have any questions? Good. Okay,
Mm.
great. So let me take you to our pronunciation lesson today, okay? And we're going to
Yeah.
start because finally, we have got through, let's say, the theoretical basis for English pronunciation. Yeah, we have talked about why English sounds the way it sounds. We have talked a little bit about the rhythm of English, the important things in terms of English pronunciation, like what actually creates English pronunciation. And now we can start talking about the sounds of English. Okay. So, well, this is a big subject. Okay. So let's see how much we can do today. Okay. And of course, feel free to interrupt me. Okay. If you need to. All right. Give me just a second to make sure that I can actually have some light here because for some reason my light here on my desk is not really working terribly well. I don't know what has happened. This may be because it's not charging. Yes. Give me just a second because that light is almost dead here. Ah, there you go, better. Okay, well, as long as I'm a little bit more lit, it's good. Okay, so coming back to the sounds of English, okay? The plan for today is, well, for me to ask you if you have any doubts or questions, obviously. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about a basic difference, but an important difference between letters and sounds. Okay, and then we're going to go into phonetic chart. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to learn the phonetic chart, but I will tell you some interesting things about it. Okay, so doubts or questions? Have you got any questions in terms of the course, in terms of the platform? Is everything okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay, fantastic. By the way, where are you at this point in terms of the course? How much have you done?
Uh, Not much. I'm uh, thinking about the pronunciation of O,
Mhm.
ow, and
Very
ah.
good.
And
Very good. So
so,
kind of lesson 5 or 6. Yeah,
yeah,
fantastic. And you, Ivana?
Also, and not so much. um, I started with first lessons,
Great.
um, and in December, uh, I didn't have little much free time.
Sure.
But now I can I can begin.
Yeah. Mhm. Yes, I mean, I'm asking out of curiosity because I really think that it's a process. Learning pronunciation is a process, so it's not a race. Definitely, I just basically want to know more or less where you are. Yeah, it's definitely worth, we were saying that before, coming back to those MP3 files just to refresh. Yeah, because it's really a repetition thing to that makes us develop those good habits.
For
Great.
example, I said son, not son, but
Yes.
I remember when I say son that
Yeah. Yes.
I had a
A
mistake.
good idea in this context is if you make a mistake like this, and there are going to be mistakes like these happening, is to try to come back to this in thoughts and say it a few times, and when you remember during the day to say where your son is or where you work with a nice little inside, it's going to be very good for our brain. Okay, great. So, letters versus sounds. Okay, I don't think that there is anything mysterious about this, but I'll give you a few curiosities. Okay, so you have heard me if you see, if you saw one of the lessons, one of the first lessons in pronunciation hacks, I talk about this spelling to sound correspondence quite a lot, right? And it's so frustrating. And it's kind of funny in English, right? Because we've got these letters. These are the letters of the alphabet in English that have 100% correspondence, spelling to sound. There's only one way to read them. Okay, so that's kind of nice. Okay, but unfortunately, it's only 12 letters. Okay, the rest are not as nice. Okay, so then we've got this group of words, these group of letters, sorry, that have, at least two different ways in which we can read them. And then there is there is the letter S, which is arguably one of the most difficult um, letters to read correctly in English. Do you know why? Because this letter can be pronounced in general in two main ways. Okay, and I'm saying in two main ways because there are other ways as well. But this letter can be either pronounced as S, okay, or as Z, okay. So, for example, if I say the sentence, I don't know, um, uh, sword is a weapon, okay, it's a very difficult sentence to pronounce correctly, okay, because we need to remember that this is sword, okay, it has a silent W, okay, we don't pronounce it at all. Okay, and weapon is also a difficult word because we've got EA and we don't say E, it's an E, yeah, weapon. But the point here is that we've got S here and S here, but they are read in a different way. Yeah, if I actually move this, okay, this here is a S and this here is a Z. Okay, a sword is a weapon. Very, very hard to actually pronounce this correctly. This is a feature of proficiency pronunciation. When you are able to differentiate this, this is incredible. But the letter S is a very complicated letter to read in English correctly. Okay? Usually nothing happens if you make mistakes. Yeah, you are just identified as a non-native speaker and there is no problem. There are no consequences. Okay, so don't worry too much about this. Okay, it's just a curiosity. And then, of course, what's missing here?
Vowels.
Vowels. Yes, absolutely. Vowels are missing. Okay, vowels are kind of here. Okay, I'm just going to delete my annotations, but yes, they are in a completely different category. Okay, so from here, we can actually start discussing those sounds. Okay, and the way to, let's say, classify these sounds is the IPA. Do you know what IPA stands for?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, exactly. International Phonetic Alphabet. Okay. Why do we need the phonetic alphabet? Well, simply because if we look at this, these are letters, but as we just said, they can be pronounced in various ways. Yeah, vowels. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, so it's really important to make the distinction, and this is why we need the phonetic script to be able to talk about sounds, not spelling. Okay, and of course, this is the monster. Yeah, this is the monster chart. It's very, very difficult when you look at it for the first time, but I'm going to show you how to make it more friendly for yourself. Okay, and we are going to practice a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So today I would like to focus on vowels. Okay, so as you can see, there are three sections here. Okay, this is vowel sounds, and it's separate from these vowel sounds because this is just single vowel sounds. Okay, then when we have two sounds in one, which are also vowels, we call them diphthongs. Okay, and then obviously there are consonants. Okay, so today we will be, yes, sorry, and one more thing. Okay, you will see this symbol, okay, very often when you have phonetic transcription of something. So you can see that there are these two kind of triangles facing each other next to this I, next to these U, and so on and so forth. Do you know what this means?
It's long.
A long
Yes.
sound.
Yes, it's a long sound. Fantastic. And then a phonetic chart wouldn't be complete without intonation. Okay, so we've got rising, falling intonation. We've got intonation, which is flat, and combinations of different intonations. Okay, so this is the sound system of English. Okay, and today we'll be focusing on here, on vowels. Okay, so what I'd like to do first, okay, is I would like to give you some examples of words which contain these sounds. They are going to be short words, so that it's going to be easy to repeat, but I would like you to repeat. Okay, so put your microphones on mute, okay, so that we are not shouting over one another, and repeat with me. Okay, then after this, we will stop and you'll be able to ask questions. Okay, so this is a long E. Yeah, we have already talked about the E. Okay, and we're going to say it as feel, feel. When you think about it, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yeah, it's really important to pay attention to how the lips are shaped when you are saying E, E. Yeah, it's almost like a fake smile. Yeah, so it's E, feel. Okay, E, feel. It's important to say it this way because if you don't, it sounds bad or it can be even confusing. Okay, so typically what students have a problem with is that they confuse the long E with I, I, I. This is a sound that doesn't exist in many languages, yeah, because people are thinking that it's a short E, but it's not E, it's I, I, I. It's the same sound as we've got in the word this. Yeah? If you think about this word, when you say this is a very good example of this sound. It's an I, I. It's not I. Yeah, because if you say this sounds really bad. This, I. Okay, so we've got two sounds which are really different and very often confused. We've got feel and fill. Feel, fill. Okay, then moving on. Okay, we've got a short oo. Okay, as in foot, foot, food, food. Yeah, very difficult to differentiate between. Okay, this is one of the hardest pairs, and it's not going to cause any misunderstandings. Yeah, it may sound a little bit strange if you confuse these two sounds, but this is not a serious pronunciation mistake. if you make a mistake here, okay? The long E and short E are much more serious mistakes than the U's, okay? And then we've got a sound that probably everyone is familiar with, okay, because it exists in a lot of languages. It's an E, okay, so bed, bed. We've got a sound that's incredibly difficult for a lot of learners of English. This is a sound that I have highlighted here in red, okay, because we have other vowels here. But when we read this word, I would like you to pay attention to how I'm pronouncing this. Capable, capable, capable. It's a very short sound, very, very short sound, and it only exists in syllables which are not stressed in English. Okay? It's the most common vowel sound in English, the most common one. Yeah? And it exists in over 90% of unstressed syllables in English. So, for example, yeah, all of these adjectives that end in able are going to have this sound at the beginning. It's a bull, a bull, a. It's very, very, very short. Yeah, a bull. All of these endings, for example, like words such as station, shn, 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 very, very short. Yeah, vision. Yeah, jn, 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 vision. Very typically, words that are stressed on the second syllable. So, for example, if we have verbs, like, for instance, support, commit, yeah, these first syllables here are unstressed. This means that we are probably going to have this sound here. For a lot of learners, this is a problem because we want to read the letters, the words, the way we see them. Yeah, so even if learners remember to say support, they are not going to say people are going to say u, okay, and they're going to say support or support. No, it's bad pronunciation. So what happens here is that we put the stress on the second syllable. It's a strong stress, is port, mit, okay? And then the first syllable is super fast, almost as if nothing existed between that first consonant and the stressed syllable. So we will say support, support, commit, commit. Yeah, there is another word, which is very basic, okay, which a lot of learners mispronounce. And I actually want to show this to you on Youglish. Okay, so we can go to Youglish. Give me just a second to get here and share my screen with you. Give me just a moment because my computer is refusing to collaborate with me. Okay, great. So we're going to put please here, okay? And I would like to, I'm going to share my sound with you, okay? And I'd like you to listen to the first 3 videos and pay attention to how people say these words, how native speakers say this word. We are paying attention to how that first syllable sounds, okay? So let's listen.
Right? And they asked the police, "Are you crazy? Are you arrested?" Right? And they asked the police, "Are you crazy? Are you?"
We can't survive as a society without roads, infrastructure, education, police, fire. We can't survive as a society without roads, infrastructure, education, police, fire.
System, effective police, and system, effective police.
Can you hear how short this first syllable is? Yeah? So this is a trap for many students, this schwa sound. Yeah, this is how we call this sound. If you ever hear somebody say schwa, well, this is the schwa. Okay, so it's a trap sound because, you know, it's going to be spelled with A, E, I, O, or U, but it's always going to sound the same in unstressed syllables, almost always. Okay, so in here, capable, capable. Okay, good. Moving on. Okay, we've got a long air. Okay, so first, first. Again, just to mention this, yeah, I'm saying this word without the letter R, but in international English, we will pronounce the letter R and we will say first, still with an air, yeah, first. And I would encourage you to definitely say the R's, yeah, because I represent 2% of native speaker population who don't pronounce the letter R. Yeah, it's just 2%. Yeah, we're definitely in the minority, okay? So say first, okay? And if you get so far in the course, you will see that there are a number of lessons at the end of the course where we talk about the pronunciation of IR and a consonant. Okay, so yeah, first, then we're going to leave this for last. Okay, and we're going to move on here. This here is a difficult set for students. Okay, and not only this, also this combination here is quite difficult for students. Okay, so these are words where we need to be able to differentiate between saying bed, bed, the way we would read it if it was spelled in our language, probably. Okay, bed with a short e, and this, bad, bad. This is difficult, yeah? So if you try to pronounce this, your mouth will be more open. Okay, bad. You are also going to make the sound a little bit towards the back of your throat. Bad. Okay, if we compare it, they should sound quite differently. Bed, bad, bed, bad. Yeah, it's kind of similar to like a long but not as clear. Yeah, it's something as the symbol would suggest between and a. Okay, bad. All right. This is not easy, obviously. Yeah, it's never easy to learn to make sounds that don't exist in our mother tongue. But try to think from this perspective. You have exactly the same articulators in your mouth as everybody else. Yeah? You've got your teeth, you've got your lips, you've got your tongue, and you've got your palate. This means that you can definitely learn to make these sounds. Yeah, you can definitely learn to make these sounds. In the past, they told us, nah, you can't really learn to make these sounds after you become a teenager, but that's a myth. This is long gone. Yeah, anybody can learn to make these sounds. It costs more effort. Yeah, the older we get, the more effort it costs, but it's definitely possible. What you need to do is to experiment with your mouth. Yeah. And the best way to experiment with your mouth and the sounds you make is by making continuous sounds. Yeah. So, for example, if I want to practice this, I'll say, eh. And when I make this sound, I will try to be aware of where my tongue is, how my mouth is open, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you need time to think a little bit about how you're making this sound. And then I'm going to move my tongue a little bit and try to see if I can make a different sound. Okay, so in here, I will be saying, eh. And in here, I will be trying to move my tongue a little bit towards the bottom of my mouth a little bit, okay? And try to make this sound a little bit back. So the transition would look like this. And what I have realized just now, for example, was that it was not only moving my tongue down a little bit, but also pushing it forward a little bit, but like this. Not like this, not sticking out my tongue, but kind of curling it towards the bottom. Okay? Bad. Okay? So it's all a question of experimenting. Okay? But make sure you are alone at home. Nobody is listening to you, because that's going to be very curious for people around you. Okay? But it's definitely possible. Yeah? When we're studying other sounds, I will also teach you some techniques to make some of the sounds that may be difficult for you to make. Good. Okay, so again, bed, bad. Oh, you see another difference. Yeah, this is a short sound. It's a really short sound. Bed. This is longer. Bad, bad. Yeah? Okay, so this was slightly longer. This is very short. This is hut. So, yeah, hut, hut. Ah, 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 hut. And then we've got a long ah. Heart, heart. Yeah, by the way, a lot of people have a problem here. They confuse this word with the word hurt. Yeah, but when we have hurt, we spell it like this. This is hurt with a long e. Yeah, it has a long e because there is U and R that's followed by another consonant. So we say exactly in the same way as we say the vowel in first. Okay, so we could put this here. Okay, and this is going to sound exactly the same in terms of the vowel. A long e. Yeah, this is heart. Okay, heart, hurt. If you would like to practice that, I would suggest this sentence. My heart hurts. Yeah, my heart hurts. Or we could even make it better and say her heart hurts. Okay. Good. And then we've got these two sounds, okay, at the end. So one is a long O, more, more, and the other is a short O, okay? I don't know why they made this symbol like this, because it looks very much unlike an O, but that's a short O in English, okay? So the difference is between O, more, and O, hot, okay? So these are the vowels, okay? And there is not much else to say about the vowels except that we need to practice them, okay? I'm not going to torture you with practice today, because we are almost at the end of our session today, but have you got any questions to me? Just remember to unmute your microphones. Hello, Jean-Marie.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
fine, and you?
I'm very well. Did you know that the webinar started at 2:30?
Sorry.
Did you know that we started at 2:30?
Yes, I think yes. Well, yes.
I'm asking because we are basically finishing now.
Oh God, it's on the email. It's indicated that it's at 3 and past to
Half past 3?
yes, half
Okay.
past 3 of Paris hours.
Oh, I'm very sorry about that then, because this is something that I need to speak to the organizers of the platform about then. Because
The hours indicated, it's hours of Madrid, and Madrid is like Paris. It's the same
Of
hour.
course, of course.
Yes.
Um, if you have any doubts, okay, I would visit the platform. Here in events,
Yes.
it says when it is, okay. I'm very sorry because Luisa and Ivona joined at the right hour, and normally the webinar is always at the same time. You see?
Okay.
And I'm very sorry because you have just joined, and I feel sorry that I need to disconnect
No problem.
in just
For
a
the next 2 weeks,
moment.
I will be there at 2:30.
Thank you. One thing that I need to mention to each of you, okay, is that
Yes.
um, on the 6th of January, we have a public holiday in Spain. It's the
Okay.
Epiphany, and we celebrate the Epiphany. So this webinar is going to move here. It will be at 2:30, okay?
Okay.
But it will be on Tuesday next week. I will put a message on the forum, okay, so that you will be able
But
to see it.
I will be not for every training available, because by the next 1st of January I will be in retirement.
Well, that's congratulations, I guess.
Perhaps, as you know, people who has in retirement have no time. I'm very busy.
Well, I'm very happy that you are very busy. That's very important. In any case, yeah, don't worry if you are not able to join the webinars. Remember that they are here in live coaching and Q&A. Okay, so you can see the webinars that we have done. They are basically, there is a summary, and they are linked to an unlisted video on YouTube. Okay, so they are not published publicly on YouTube. This is an unlisted link. Okay, but you can definitely watch them. I would encourage that because they are useful sessions before what we did today. And of course, in half an hour, I will also upload our session now. Okay, so if you had the time reserved, Jean-Marie, then give me 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and the webinar will be there.
I am sure it will be very useful for me for my pronunciation.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I'm also sure about that. So just to very quickly summarize, I'm not keeping you longer, okay? I know that this is the end of the year and everybody wants to come back to their own things.
Okay. Bye. No problems.
Great. Okay, so this is what we did today. Okay, we are going to continue the topic of vowels next time. Okay, we will be doing some exercises to help us differentiate and understand different words. Okay, and I will put up a little dictation for you this week so that you can practice them as well. Okay.
Sorry, Magic. I read in the chat a message that I don't understand. You have reached the recording limit for your plan. To record longer meetings, explore other plans here. What does it mean?
This is a message from Zoom. Yeah, because if you were recording a meeting, were you recording our meeting, Luisa?
No.
No. Oh, fantastic. Have no idea then. This is a message on chat, but I think this is a message for Itmam's AI note taker. Yeah, Itmam is a student who uses a note taker. Okay, and he later shares the screenshots. So it's his plan, it's his problem.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for joining. It was a pleasure to see you, to meet you, Jean-Marie.
Yes.
And looking forward to our future meetings. Okay?
Okay.
See you soon.
Take care. See you on Tuesday.
New Year.
Bye.
Happy New Year to you too. Lovely. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.